are going to study here. So noise in amplifiers. Now we have seen in the earlier classes, we have studied the instrumentation amplifiers, the transimpedance amplifiers or the electrometers, or we have even studied the charge amplifiers where if the sensor is sensing current, how exactly that has to be converted to voltage in the earlier conditioning networks. In this part, we are going to see what are the sources of noise in all these conditioning networks, how exactly this noise affects and how this has to be taken care of, or the conditioning network, how it should be designed such that the impact of these noises which are produced in amplifiers due to different elements has to be minimized. First, let us see which are the sources of noise or what type of noises you come across in any op-amp amplifier. So before that, what is this noise? So basically, all these things we have to be careful about these noise signals whenever we are dealing with small signals or whenever we are dealing with signals which are working in low frequency region. So these small signals, we all know that the output of the sensor is definitely magnitude wise or frequency wise, it lies in the low signal side only or small signal side. So whenever you are processing small signals or whenever your requirement is of high resolution, higher accuracy level or higher sensitivity level, or the resolution required is very, very high. Naturally, whenever you are sensing a particular parameter, all these requirements are existing. So, particularly when working at low frequencies or with broadband signals, we must consider the intrinsic perturbations or noises associated with the components which we use in building this entire circuit. So the gist of this is whenever you are dealing with small signals and require higher resolution outputs, the noises generated in the components used to build this particular circuit are of very, very important. So when you deal with these different components, because in the conditioning network, we make use of good number of resistors, good number of capacitors, plus the connecting wires or the lead wires, plus the grounding and shielding networks or the cases we use for the devices and the different components used. Plus there are good number of power supplies which are used. So all these components produce some kind of noise. Whenever you are dealing with large signals, the contribution by these may not be so much effective or it doesn't affect the readings. Whereas when you are dealing with small signals in as far as the amplitude is concerned as well as the frequency is concerned, and such a sensitive result it is going to give us. So under such cases, a very small current which is generated, say the current of the order of few nanoamperes, also plays a very important role, because you don't know whether this current is due to noise or due to the variation in a particular parameter, or even few microvolts of the signal due to the capacitor which is formed between a conductor and a casing also plays an important role here. So whenever small signal analysis is being done, the noise generated due to the components which are used in building the circuit is very important, and that has to be studied. Not only studied, it has to be either suppressed or some other network where the effect of this should not be taken as a sensitive reading. Such arrangement should be made. Now the next point is description of this noise. Now what exactly the noise means? Basically noise is a random signal. You don't know continuously this is being produced and added. In case of offset, we knew that for every reading, if the DC offset is not reduced to zero, if there are offset currents which are flowing, for every reading taken, these are going to be the issues. So much is going to be your common mode rejection ratio reduced, or the gain is going to be impacted so much. But here, noise is basically a random signal which cannot be predicted. Whenever it is produced, it has to be suppressed or cancelled out. So a random signal, some information about it can be inferred from its statistical description. So basically it is a random signal which cannot be predicted. But some information regarding this, if you know it, you will be able to handle it in a better way. So usually the mean square value of the noise or the intensity of the noise and the signal combined, if these information are available to you, then you will be able to handle the noise issues in a better way. Now for this, one should know, when you think of handling a particular noise signal, you should know what is the nature of the noise produced, or what are the sources of the production of this noise. And once you know the sources, then you know how to handle it, or what type of signals are going to come out of this particular source or a component. So the main sources of noise in any electronic circuit are thermal noise, short noise, or low frequency noise. Now thermal noise, as the name only says, due to some heat variations or temperature variations. So they arise in any medium that dissipates energy, such as conductors. So all your conducting wires, lead wires, or the metal casing or the resistors, all of them come under this category. So all of them are prone to produce thermal noise. It is also called as Johnson noise or Nyquist noise. These names are given by the researchers. So these scientists have first time given them the expression. So they are named after these people. So they are called by the name Johnson noise or Nyquist noise. So the same thermal noise is called by these two names. It is given by ET square is equal to 4K TB into R, where K is the Boltzmann's constant, T is the absolute temperature. Absolute temperature is nothing but in kelvins, and B is the bandwidth of the noise signal generated. So always in all these amplifiers, whether it is a noise signal or a information signal, the bandwidth is of importance. And ET is the thermal noise expressed in RMS value. Always these noises are expressed in RMS values, not in DC or AC values. And you all know why it is so. Because if you express the average values, there is a possibility that they may get cancelled out, which is not desired when you are thinking of handling the noise or suppressing the noise, or you want to know which particular noise level is how much. When you are interested in such calculations, the AC signals or the average signals are not considered. So always the RMS values are considered here. So the RMS value is given in terms of, or it is dependent on Boltzmann's constant, the temperature variation, the bandwidth of the signal, and R is the resistance of the conductor. So basically understand here, whichever dissipates energy, basically the conductors or the lead wires or the connecting wires, so they all contribute to this thermal noise. Now the next one is shot noise. This is also called as Schottky noise, again named after the inventor.